Does a pot of jollof rice cost you to make these days? Your pot of jollof, when was the last time you even made jollof rice, Seth? Let's even start there. And then how much did it cost you to make it? We're talking about cost of food today. Between the border closure and COVID-19 and the lockdowns, we've been seeing a steady increase in the cost of living for the past five quarters. Now, here's today's big hard fact. According to the Jollof Index from SBM Intelligence, it now costs on average over 7,000 naira to cook a pot of jollof rice for a family of five anywhere in Nigeria. Now, I like using the Jollof Index because it's a very simple way to talk about a complex topic like food inflation. By the way, if you go back to August 2019, the Jollof Index was 6,000 naira. You go back to 2016 and it was 4,000 naira. So clearly prices are going up, and today we want to look at some of the factors why these prices continue to go up. And it all starts on the farm, and that's why I have a farmer, a big farmer, joining me on the show. She's the founder and CEO of Tomato Jos, one of Nigeria's biggest agro-industrial businesses. Her name is Mira Mehta. Welcome back to Hard Facts, Mira. Hello, Mira. Oh, we seem to not have her on the phone anymore. Okay, we're going to try and get her back on the line so she'll join us. And as we do that, Lagos, I'm also going to be asking you questions about your food, right? What have food prices in your area been like? Which types of food have been affected the most? If you have any aspect, if you are in any aspect of the food business, you have to also give us a call and tell us your experience. If Colette is listening, please try to get Mira back on the line. She seems, we seem to have lost the connection to her. So they're doing their best to get her back on the line right now, and then we can continue that conversation. In the meantime, you can share your thoughts with us on Facebook. You can share your thoughts with us on WhatsApp, and you can share your thoughts with us on Twitter. Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3, and WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Mira, we have you back on the line, eh?
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. So tell us about Tomato Jos first. Let's talk about Tomato Jos first of all. What does your company do? It's clearly tomato related, but let's talk about what you do.
Sure. Well, Tomato Jos is a slight misnomer because we're actually located in Kaduna. But we are a company that is trying to harness the power of local production for local consumption. What that means is we grow tomatoes. We also work with a lot of farmers, a couple hundred farmers in Kaduna to grow tomatoes. And we've been doing this for about 5 years because we've been trying to get this very correct so that we can finally launch a tomato paste factory and start producing local tomato paste for the market. Very excited. This year is a huge growth. After being own farmers for 5 years, we're finally building a factory this year and trying to make this next year.
I see. When did you get into this?
Well, I spent years in Nigeria from 2012,
Right.
and I realized that, from my perspective, I think I'm doing really work, but I felt like I could actually justify being a good employer. Much poverty, especially rural north, and if I can just provide steady with people, it gives them the agency to make their own decisions about what they want to spend money on, how kids, what kind of a house they want to live in. And I realized that I have right now we have about 3 youth and maybe 25 or 30 security workers.
Right.
But by working in agriculture, we could actually reach way more people. And, our reach has extended to hundreds of farmers in the area where we're farming, and they're all getting more income as a result of their work with us.
Right. How has COVID-19 affected the tomato business?
It's been tough. Tomato paste is one of those products that the Nigerian government believes strongly we should be able to produce locally.
Right.
But local production is really low right now. And so, with COVID, for us anyway, we had a lot of challenges with our fresh market sales because I'm sure you all will remember Easter weekend was a lockdown.
Right.
And Easter weekend is usually our biggest weekend for fresh tomato sales.
Right.
So we couldn't move our products from Kaduna down to Lagos, down to Port Harcourt, where everybody was celebrating. Well, and nobody was even celebrating because of the COVID. Other issues that we face, that our farmers have faced, are a lot of disruptions to the inputs that we buy. So, we buy a lot of fertilizer, we buy seeds, we grow corn in the rainy season, and, we couldn't get the type of seed that we normally could. COVID had actually brought a lot of to the country, and that caused a lot of challenges, not us, but for farmers, I think, all across. And then, if we want to talk about trends, I think a lot of the price increases are due to this double strain of increased demand as the population keeps growing and constricted supply because of these disruptions that took place earlier in the year.
What are the costs that you and others in the value chain incur getting the tomatoes from the farm to the plate? How did COVID and the lockdown affect those costs?
Well, the costs went up, but not only that, for us, we were selling a highly perishable product. Tomatoes will get bad very, very quickly. And during that lockdown, it was very confusing about what trucks and what transit was allowed interstate. So we had truck drivers who would normally drive from Kaduna to Lagos that just said, you know what, I'm not even going to drive. And even if we said, we'll pay you double, we'll pay you triple, just move our product, they actually said, no, we don't think we're allowed to drive. Or we think the checkpoints will be so difficult because the government wants to do this lockdown. So part of it was an increase in cost, and part of it was just the inability to move our goods.
I see. All right. Now, tomato is not the only ingredient in jollof rice. There's, of course, rice, and we've seen steep increases in its retail price. As someone who is in the agricultural business, what factors do you think are at play here?
I mean, the obvious factor is the border closure. I think, in general, the idea of boosting local production is a good one. But the challenge, I think, is that the producers really haven't been able to increase their production enough based on the size of the country and the increasing demand from a growing population.
Right.
And so I think that when we close the border, this is the short-term pain that economists talk about, and that short-term pain is extremely painful. And a lot of people think it's not necessarily worth the pain. Maybe there are other ways to boost local production besides an outright border closure.
All right. So one of the obvious ones is the border closure. What other factors do you think there are?
Well, I think that the currency devaluation definitely plays a role.
Okay.
Even though we talk about local production, fertilizer prices are linked to the dollar because a lot of fertilizer is imported, right? Seed prices are linked to foreign exchange because they're purchased from China or other places.
I see.
And so, those things have a big effect on farmers too.
So we've got a border closure. We've got the dollar. Do you think you're leaving anything out? Any other factor?
Oh, gosh. Well, in this particular year, we also saw some weather anomalies that I think were really challenging.
So you've got the flooding in Jigawa, for instance.
Exactly. And then some parts of the south also faced a drought at the same time. And we had some issues in Adamawa. We had some issues in Ekiti. We had some issues in Taraba. Those are all places, they grow different crops, but all of those things factor in.
Now, of course, the government can do something about the border closure and can do something about the currency, maybe. But is there anything they can do about the weather?
Well, this is a good question. With the farmers in our program, we're trying to help them to become more resilient to climate change and to weather conditions. So one of the things that we're doing is trying to get farmers able to do dry season farming and not to have to rely on rainfall for their crops. That can help them, to keep their fields alive if there's a drought in the middle of the season. The other thing, we're very private sector focused. We really try to increase yields for our farmers and increase profitability. And that, in turn, creates savings for them. And I think that idea of savings creates a buffer for farmers where they can have a little breathing room. They can still make purchases, for the next season with the savings from the previous season. That kind of thing, I think, will make a big difference.
What does it take to switch to dry season farming?
The biggest thing is irrigation. So if you don't get water from the sky, you have to get water from somewhere else.
Like Egypt was doing with rice.
Exactly. So Egypt is a great example, both for rice and tomatoes. They really utilized that Nile River and made a lot of large-scale infrastructure investments in irrigation to make the irrigation efficient. It's much, much more efficient to create 100-hectare or 1,000-hectare irrigation scheme than to give 1,000 farmers one little pump and tell them to pump 1 hectare at a time.
And that lays squarely at the door of government?
Well, it's tough. I'm a believer in the private sector, and I think that government's role is to enable
private sector
potentially
do
the
it.
fund, but to let the private sector do the work. And for an irrigation scheme, for example, my opinion is that you want a private sector company to run that thing like a business, meaning they're managing the maintenance, they're managing all of the bits and pieces that go into providing water to that land area, and they're then renting out plots to farmers at an affordable price. The government's role could be to come in and subsidize that plot, for example, for the first few years to get the private sector company able to do this commercially. But at the end of the day, for it to be sustainable, I really think that there has to be a focus on making those services profitable for the farmer and profitable for the service provider.
Let's talk about onions now.
Oh, man.
I joked with someone on air the other day that if I were at a wedding and they were giving onions away as souvenirs, I would fight people to get mine. What specifically is contributing to the steep price of onions, Mira?
So I think that onions are a really interesting example, and I was hoping you would bring this up because this, to me, is an example of a regional challenge. Onions are grown a lot in Sokoto and in Kaduna and in Kano in the dry season locations. I think that the issues in Sokoto and Jigawa certainly contributed to the lack of supply, but what I think is going on is that the regions that produce onions are just not selling them outside of their region. So in Kaduna, we're not having the same challenge with onions that we see everybody having in Port Harcourt and in Lagos.
Really?
Yeah, it's not as bad. It's still bad, but they're not. I mean, I'm seeing pictures of people saying 100 Naira bought me 1 onion, right? 500 Naira bought me 2 onions. In Kaduna, we're not yet at that point. But we're feeling the pinch in things like gari that are not produced here, but that are produced, farther down south.
So why isn't the onions getting here?
Well, I think that there's enough of a consumer base locally, right? So the market is finishing before any of these trucks have a chance to go down to Lagos, probably because of a smaller supply than usual.
What are y'all doing with all the onions? Give us onions!
We're enjoying now.
Give us onions!
Oh, wow. I know. I'm thinking I should just start calling myself Onion Joss.
To be honest, and that brings me to the next question. What's next for Tomato Joss? What are your next strategic or business goals?
Well, selling tomatoes into the fresh market is honestly a terrible business. We're a price taker. We don't get to control where we send our tomatoes because we're just trying to find any market that needs them. And we produce tomatoes when every other farmer is producing tomatoes. So what's next for us is the move into value add, meaning the move into a packaged consumer product. Instead of selling tomatoes in bulk, just in the raw tomato form, this year, or let me say in 2021, for the first time, we're going to be processing those tomatoes into paste and then making a retail product in a branded tomato Joss sachet that we can sell at a fixed price because no matter what time of year, the tomato carton will sell at the same price.
If you could improve three things about the current market, the current system, or the economy, what would a farmer like you choose?
Whew, there are so many things. You know, I'm a big believer in basic infrastructure as a big boost for productivity in the farms. And when I say basic infrastructure, I mean roads, I mean power, and I mean network.
Right.
I think that those three things alone would boost productivity immensely in the farming and agricultural areas of this country.
I see. Okay. Mira Mehta, thank you so much for talking to us on Hard Facts. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Sandra.
Okay, enjoy your day and send those onions over.
Will do.
Lagos, let's talk, huh? Let's find out how much your pot of jollof has cost in recent times. How much does it cost to make a pot of jollof rice nowadays? I had a farmer join me on the show, and I'd like to find out what food prices have been like in your area. Which types of food have been affected the most? If you are in any aspect of the food business, so you're a farmer, you are a seller of farm produce, you are a transporter of farm produce, you are in logistics, any part of the value chain whatsoever, you're a processor, you make tomato paste, please give us a call and talk to us about your experience with the cost of food. What do you think about the factors that Mira mentioned when I had her on the show? Mira talked about the border being closed. By the way, we put up a poll yesterday on Twitter, and the results for that poll are in, and 91%, 91.5% of the voters on Twitter think that the government should reopen the land borders. But we have an 8.5% of voters who think, nope, the borders should stay closed. So anyways, Mira mentions the border as one of the reasons that jollof rice is so expensive now. She also talks about the currency value. And she also talked about the weather. Now, there's not a lot that the government can do about, the weather or the currency, really. Or, well, actually, the only thing that they can't do something about is the border. Ezekiel is Naja. Hello, Ezekiel. Thanks for calling.
Okay. Sandra,
Good
thank
evening.
you for bringing up this topic. Good evening.
Good evening.
Before, if I want to cook pot of jollof rice, it cost me like 2.5.
Okay.
But right now, it costs more than like 6,000 something. I went to market with 6,000. I didn't even know how I spent the money.
Okay.
And see, the worst of it is that when the people that are selling now, if they want to buy from the people that are producing the tomatoes and everything, they buy it in cheap price and then now sell it in that cost.
Oh,
My mommy is a farmer. We are farmer. We plant uju and some other things in Ogun State.
Okay.
But if we want to sell it, we sell it in cheap price. Why others are making it better in Lagos? Because people that used to buy from us are selling in this Lagos. I know some of them. But they don't want us to get the access to the market that they are selling. So they rather come and buy for us and come and sell it in Lagos. I was asking the woman, I know you, but you used to buy for her hand. So the woman said, so you are so person.
So you think the people who are increasing the prices are Nigerian sellers, huh?
Yes, we are the problem of ourselves. It's them that are increasing the price because they buy it cheap because of the fuel and do all this scarcity of fuel because they increase fuel price and all those problems along the road now. So they rather increase it to make money because they take advantage of everything that happens. So we use it and make money. If you see onions is they store it in one place. It's not that it's new onions. It's old onions. They pack it somewhere and making it to be difficult for the poor masses.
My God. Insane. Ezekiel, thank you for calling me. We've got Ferdinand in Aja. Hello, Ferdinand. Thanks for calling.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah. The problem in this country, I think presently now, is we ourselves that causing all this hardship within ourselves. Because I find out that out of the sachet of a tomato will be come a lot of 200 or 150, which a sachet of tomatoes will be, we are buying a lot of 15 naira things or 30 naira. But as I'm talking to you now, everything has changed. I think the problem is not more, how will I put it?
But you
It's
see,
within ourselves.
where
that
the problem. But you see, but you see, the previous caller said that if the sellers, he said that the sellers are increasing the price of what they're selling because the fuel they buy is more expensive now. So do you think we are the problems of ourselves, or do you think market prices are just adjusting to the cost of other things?
Of course.
Of course. All right, Ferdinand. Thanks for calling. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
How are you? What's your name?
Victoria.
Victoria, welcome. Go ahead.
Victoria from Ogun State.
Victoria, go ahead. How much does it cost to make jollof rice for you these days?
Sandra, poor people no fit cook jollof rice again, no. Hey, poor people no fit cook jollof rice. If you want to cook jollof rice now, you need to owe like 5,000, 6,000 because tomatoes and onions, especially onions, Sandra, no be small thing. But God will help us.
Amen.
I will contribute concerning what the other guy talk about ugu. Sandra, ugu for a year. If you want to buy 500 naira own, now suffer. Suffer. Because now, if you buy 500 naira own, come buy water leak, buy all those things. You know, reach even 3 days.
You don't finish.
So, all those things, not problem to us.
Wow.
But I pray, may God help us.
Amen. God will help us. So he guys help us. Victoria, thanks for calling me. We've got Olumuyiwa in Aja on the line. Olumuyiwa, welcome.
Sandra,
How much does it cost to make jollof rice for you nowadays?
let me calculate. You know, now in my area, so much sachet 150. Right, Jerry. At least, so you spend 2.5. If you no one do concussion, no, you spend 2.5.
At least 2.5 to make jollof rice.
Sandra, where are we going? I work in construction industry. Before NSAS, POP cement 4,300. After NSAS, 8,000 naira.
Wow.
Cement was 2,600 before NSAS. Now 3,500.
Why?
I don't know. But one of my Igbo guys said this POP cement that they used to import it from abroad. Although they take material from Nigeria outside, but they bring it abroad. But the Nigeria policy just, stop so many containers. They are killing ourselves and they are killing us. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Olumuyiwa, too, for calling us. 99.3. Hello. Hello. Oh, this person's not there yet. OVA is on the line. OVA, thanks for calling.
Hello, Sandra. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm all right.
Are
Sandra,
you in the agric business?
No, I am not. I am in the transport business.
Aha.
And while I don't want to defend the middlemen, those people who go to buy produce from the farms to come sell, like the Ugu farming guy was talking about, I want to say, Sandra, he doesn't know their overhead. He is just calculating as a farmer. They will definitely have overhead. Let me give you an example, Sandra. Normally, I'll take clients from Lagos to Ibadan before the fuel increase. Maximum of 4,000 naira fuel.
Okay.
Here's
the thing. I need to go on a quick break, and if you keep talking, my system is going to cut you off. So is it possible that you stay on the line after the break? We'll keep talking, or do you want to go and try and call back?
No. I'll stay on the line, Sandra.
All right, then. Thank you, OVA, for calling, and just stay on the line. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Don't go away.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this. Every day, someone stands a chance to be a winner. Really? Yes. 50,000 naira every week on Just a Minute Game Show. Just call in to any of our shows. The Morning Crossfire, What's Up Lagos, The Sunny Side, and Hard Facts. Answer as many questions as possible within 60 seconds, and we'll be giving out 50,000 naira every week. Yes! Winners will be announced on Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Just a Minute, the game show for everyone on your number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
peace, our home. Oh, your peace, our goal. Everyone has a place they need to be. Everyone has a face they need to see. When you go away, you love to fly, and we fly you safely through the sky. City comfortable, we very reliable. We care for you. At peace, our home. Oh, if you're gonna
For bookings and more, visit our website today on www.flyairpeace.com.
Mama Mina won't send money, make Amina collect for school. Oh, Bina won't withdraw from your account, but you know carrying card. Hey, waiting then go use.
Na Momo, then go use. Na Momo agents, then go use you.
Sisi Ronke won't pay light bill, plus Richard Go TV. Nishi for no go Miss Telemundo. Tamuno says she won't buy data for phone.
Waiting then go use. Na Momo, then go use. Na Momo agents, then go use you.
Now, with your Momo agent, you fit send and receive money, plus to withdraw money for your bank account without card or data. You fit also buy airtime and data or pay any kind bill where you want. Just dial *223# to see the Momo agent when near you. Momo agent. Safe, fast, no wahala.
Quick, not the magic word. You know what to do everything sharply. Quick service, quick bonus, and been a quick payout every day on top action bet. Now why would you do data or as low as 1 naira? If it even take your bet, it never finish you. Even as it to sell for, if you get quick payment of up to 40% on top of your ticket sales, whether you win or you lose. You think it's over? I say you never finish. You better even get a quick commission, quick monthly bonus, and a plenty quickie. You see, Action Bet, then they offer quick payouts, sometimes over bonus, even when up to 4 games of your ticket to them card. Go to www.actionbet.ng or make a great them on top 080 99 77 7728. Action Bet. Win big.
Uncle Dentist, what are cavities and how does Colgate protect my teeth from cavities? Does it use Kung Fu?
No, dear. Most tooth pains are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavities.
It's time to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
Colgate is recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
Here is the list of excuses that will no longer be accepted.
Otajigbe, I beg, give me your hotspot. I want my data, but this one too much.
Please, could you put your Wi-Fi on? I'm out of data and the recharge card seller has closed.
Oh, I would have recharged though, but I can't find my wallet.
Please, I've got cramps and I can't get up. Can you share your hotspots?
Oh no! Don't know where my internet token is and I need to quickly buy data. Please, could you share your hotspot till I find it?
Hey, Jumbo, I will buy data, but that recharge card seller need to ever get change. How good do I?
Now there's really no excuse to ever be out of data with Glow Borrow Me Data. Dial *321# to borrow data now and pay later.
I beg, I will share your hotspot. This rain bahad. Make thunder no go fireman.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
And we're here. Ovie clearing his throat. Ovie, thank you so much for waiting.
It's all right, Sandra.
I'm glad you waited. So go ahead. You were telling me about being in the transport business.
Exactly. And I was telling you that prior to the fuel increase, that if I was going to Ibadan,
right,
the maximum I would spend on fuel to and fro was 4,000. But as it stands, if I spend 7,000 on fuel to and fro Ibadan, I am fortunate. And so imagine, for instance, Sandra, that I was in the agribusiness.
Right.
I'll pass all of this cost
Exactly.
onto the product and onto the consumer, onto whoever I'm selling to.
Yeah.
Now, another thing, if you notice, Sandra, your interviewee mentioned that there are three things. When you asked her what are the three changes she will ask
make.
for,
Mm-hmm.
she said infrastructure, power, and network. That's what she said. Sandra, if I'll ask for one more thing, I would ask for a favorable environment for doing business in Nigeria. Last week, I was coming from Ibadan, Sandra, and at Bega, there was this trailer that was carrying yams into Lagos.
Right.
And there were these guys that were holding sticks. You would think the truck driver was coming under an attack. I haven't noticed them before.
Yeah.
And we were stopping this guy, obviously to collect money from him. The question you ask yourself is that, who are they? On whose behalf do they collect this money? For what purpose do they collect this money? At every point, there is somebody who is collecting money from people who are doing business. A woman who goes to Ota to buy tomatoes to come and sell in Lagos.
Right.
As she's coming, before she gets to Lagos, she has paid this levy here, paid that there, paid that there. At the end of the day, she's going to be transferring all of this cost onto the products that she's going to be selling. So we need these measures to be taken by governments to be able to ensure that we have a better economy. I'm sure there is a video online. I'll try to tag it to you on Twitter later on.
Okay.
Where a woman in Abuja who runs a restaurant, they just went to steal up her restaurant with her staff and customers inside. Yes, it's on social media right now.
Do we know why?
They said that because she didn't, they want to see the receipt for. Let me try to remember now. What was that? The receipt for food handler's receipt. And she told them, I am in a meeting right now. We have a head office in Wuse. They went to the Hagwarimpa branch. We have our head office in Wuse. All the receipts are there. It's either you want to be taken there so that you see the receipts, or wait where you are. I'll call one of my staff, to bring the receipt over to you. The guys refused.
And sealed up her place.
Yes.
With customers inside?
With her customers inside, Sandra.
Whoa.
And then she said, because of that, of course, a business person will get agitated. She did everything quickly to get to the venue, to her restaurant in Gwarimpa, to the venue. By the time she got there, these guys were gone. And then she called them, okay, please, I'm here now. Can you come back so that we can resolve this issue? They said no, that they were not coming back. And before they locked the restaurant, they told her that they had a court order that they were going to be effecting, or that she had to pay 250,000 in order for them not to lock the restaurant. Do you get that?
Yeah.
And then she said she doesn't know their office. She doesn't know where they come from. They just tell you that they're armored. Now, these are the kind of policies that, stifle business growth and, increase costs in our environment. It causes a lot of problem. I'm in transport, so I can tell you what we go through at the hands of different kinds of people. And at the end of the day, Sandra, you are forced to pay willy-nilly, and it is inevitable that you are also going to be transferring this cost. And then onions becomes what Sandra will have to fight for in the past.
But Ovia, do you think that there's something that businessmen like you can do to force the hand of government to say, regulate the number of things that you have to pay for? Because I don't think businessmen and women should have to take the kinds of things that happened to the yam truck coming into Lagos, or the woman in Abuja, or you who's paying people for your transport business.
Well, Sandra, you are putting me at the risk of being labeled a terrorist, because the last people who tried to force the hand of government for a better society are right now in hot water. So,
okay, bye-bye. Bye. Thanks for calling. Goodbye. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
How are you? What's your name?
Yeah, this is Sebastian.
Sebastian, welcome. How much does it cost to make jollof for you these days?
Sandra, I can't really say. I think it's been longer I did that.
Okay.
So really
what do you eat now?
People does that. So.
Okay, go ahead. Share your opinion with me.
Before, I think the last caller, I actually agree with everything he said, but partially, the things he said I don't want to agree with.
Like what?
In terms of the transportation.
Okay.
He can't tell me that he actually spent, he normally spend the 4,000 naira in going to Ibadan, and because he buy fuel expensive, he is spending 7,000. I think the amount they added in fuel is just 15 naira, and 28 liter of fuel are actually amount for 4,600.
Okay.
That is at the rate of 145, like 145 naira. And now it's 161 naira, 160 naira thereabout. You amount to 4,607 naira thereabout. So that is that. In the issue of how things cost Nigeria, I think I actually. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hello?
Sebastian, I can hear you. Go ahead. Hello, Sebastian? Oh no, Sebastian stopped hearing me there. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. If you just joined the show, hello, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. And we're talking about the cost of food today. Between the border closure and COVID-19 and the lockdowns, we've seen a steady increase in the cost of living for the past 5 quarters. Our big hard fact today is from SBM Intelligence, and according to them, it now costs on average more than 7,000 naira to cook a pot of jollof rice for a family of 5 anywhere in Nigeria. What I love about Jollof Index is because it's a very simple way to talk about a complex topic like food inflation. So I'm asking those of you who are in the food business. I had a conversation with a farmer, a big farmer here in Nigeria, Mira Meta. She has a farm in Kaduna. And we talked about some of the issues with the agribusiness in Nigeria. Now, for those of you who are also in the agribusiness, give me a call and share your experience with me. What has food prices been like in your area? If you're not in the food business, at least they chop food. So how much is food in your area now? What is expensive? What is not expensive? What types of food have been affected the most? If you are a transporter in the food business, if you are a processor, if you are in the restaurant business, how far? How market? CJ is in Ogun State. Hello, CJ.
Hello, Sandra. Good evening.
Good evening, CJ. Welcome.
Yes, concerning the food stuff, although it's somehow also exorbitant, very, very costly. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. It's very exorbitant where you are, huh?
Yes. But I wanted to look at the issue of building materials. Maybe on Monday when you be doing Mama Landlord. So look at it. Even here in Aton, a bag of cement is now about 3,000. Like what it was 4 or 5 months ago when you buy less at the cost of 2,500. So I believe that by next year, even if you come to this state, most of the people that rented shops they have closed their shop because they cannot afford the price. And by next year, probably this landlord and the landladies, they will increase the price of their house rent. So it's a very big problem for us. So maybe less of money. I wanted to research and
talk about it. Well, this Monday we're talking about quit notice again. I'm bringing those lawyers back to talk about quit notice again. Maybe the next Madam Landlord, I'll factor this topic in. Thank you, CJ.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for calling. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
How are you? Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sandra.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Chibike calling.
Chibike, welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, quick one. You're talking about a pot of rice. I think it depends on the quantity you actually want to cook.
Okay.
By me, probably as a bachelor, you want to cook a delicate of rice or thereabouts. I think in my area here now, delicate of rice is sold for 600 naira.
Okay.
Then calculation of everything is about 3,000 naira thereabouts.
About how much?
3,000 naira. It will cost like 3,000 naira.
For how many people?
2 people thereabouts.
2 people. So
Yeah.
so that research I read out to you said it's for family of 5. For family of 5, it costs about 7,000 naira on the average.
If you buy a delicate of rice for 600 naira, you have to use probably turkey or chicken. On the,
onye nwe ego na-egote turkey na chicken. Ka ị na-akọ ihe a?
You just have to do that. I think I'm going for half kilo of turkey now. I think it's 1,100 naira. Yeah.
Brother.
half kilo.
You cannot turkey. Hey God.
No, I just like we have to cook now. Yeah, we are cooking now. So that is it, my sister.
You can want to attack on turkey. Hey, you never enjoy you. You not your second wife. Come be able your second wife.
It's not Vico. It's not really only that. I think the actually the problem, of course, of living in Nigeria is people are talking about building. Somebody who actually sells cement have to buy rice too. You have to buy other things. So if you don't meet up to your demand, so that's good demand. You can't be able to afford what they are selling. So you have to also increase your own. And I think the major problem we are having now is the closure of border. I think this issue started when we are talking yesterday. I actually called, but I was unable to get through to your station, your studio. So
sorry.
Yes, the major problem is closing of border. Before the border closure, we know how much a paste of tomato is sold in Nigeria. I think it was 250 naira, and it's not even some names you see these days. I don't want to mention do advert for anybody. Some names you see these days, they are sell for 150. We won't even why. So before then, two paste of tomato is sold for 50 naira before the closure of border. When I actually stayed at our job before I moved down to on the island here. So 2 paste of tomato is sold for 50 naira then. A bag of rice at us then. No, I don't know how much they sell it here then because I think things are more expensive here compared to where I was coming from. It was actually 15,000, and that is foreign rice, not local rice. So, but after the closure of border, things just went up. I think that is the number one major problem we are having is the closure of border because what we produce in this country is not enough for us to close the border. So that is actually the major problem is the closure of border. I think that is where the issue is coming from. If they have to open the border until we have enough to feed ourselves, then the border can be closed. Good evening, my sister.
Good evening, Sebastian. Thank you for calling me. 99.3, hello.
Me, Sandra. Well,
welcome.
Sandra. Let me appreciate you. I won't blame you. I know it's not your fault. Monday, good topic. Tuesday, beautiful topic. Yesterday, the same thing. Today again, and it's painful. The people would have something to contribute, but they don't have the opportunity to get through. Maybe you should find a way of providing an opportunity for them to have an open day so that they can bring up their own thoughts on issues discussed that they have missed.
Abi, okay, we can try that.
Number two, I wanted to bring Bemisora and the other guy from the business world to come and look at the policy aspect of what your guest spoke on all of these issues. You understand?
We'll do that on Monday. We're doing that on Monday.
Like Obi said, I'm sure they will call us terrorists. But the truth is that we are not terrorists. We are looking for a better country. We can call our own. We have a developer right now from Ikeja. You see, number one, I agree with your guest, but she has only factored problems in her own area. But she did talk about banditry and maybe herdsmen farmers clash. I'm sure in areas like the southwest here, south, and part of south, because whether you like it or not, irrespective of how voluminous their productivity is in area of agriculture, they still find a way of contributing to the food supply. You understand? So the people in Benue, the people in, part of Plateau, Kogi, and the rest that are being ravaged by herdsmen, don't you think that is going to cut down the supply of food available? That's one. So, then number two, the area of the border closure. The last caller was talking about rice being sold for 15. I remember last year, before August, before the closure, I bought rice for about 13,000. Cooked on rice now. But today, that same rice is about 42,000 naira. 42,000 from 36 and 42,000 naira. The same rice. So the thing is that the Nigeria claims that we are food sufficient, and the answer is no, we are not food sufficient. And now the reason I'm bringing the area of policy to it is that government has been boasting about Anchor Borers Fund, Lagos State make Lagos State and Kebbi rice, that is make rice, whatever, and all of these are not there. Who is going to put all these monies given to them? I'm not sure now. There was a report in the dailies, one of the dailies, that about 350 billion naira was held by farmers. You understand? So the government or whatever, and here is the transparency. Who is monitoring what? Who is measuring what? Transparency talk about data. Where is the statistics? We do have the statistics, but today, if you look at the poverty index, then you can see that Nigeria today, we are over 110 million people living in abject and multi-dimensional poverty. And look at the rate between last year and now. Last year it was about maybe 70-something thousand to 70 million. We have added about 30 million. Okay, now, for instance, let me give you another statistics now. When Buhari came in 2015, rice, the same rice we are talking about was selling for about 7,000, 6,000 then. Suddenly, it went to like 13,000. 20,000. Later came back to 30,000. But today, it's about 42,000. If we now look at the inflation index now, if we're talking about 800% just in about 5.5 years, who is monitoring what? How do you measure performance of a government? Then people will now come on the street, you now tag them terrorists. Are we going to die of hunger? Look at the kind of looting that happened. Look at the issue of looting of COVID materials and whatever. Let me now go to this because you talk about importation and I give you some people some kind of satanic waivers against the interests of others. In 2011, when Jonathan won election, cement was selling for about 600 and 500,000 naira. That is 2011. Immediately it came. Cement and Sugar went to Jonathan, and they find a way of coercing him into agreeing to them. Suddenly that price jumped to 1,500, some 2,000, some 2,000, later 2005, and now look at where we are. So who is sitting in power just for the interest of the people? Nobody is sitting for our interest. And we cannot continue to be wrong in the manner that we have been going all this way. We are not foolish people. You understand? It's a way of telling us, you guys are not smart, you guys are foolish, you are bred of ideas, so whatever we're going to force down your throat, Oakland and Seka, you must just take it. It shouldn't be. So my worry is this. Bring your Ben Nisola and the other guy, bring them, let them come and interrogate the policy of the government versus what your food and food person said. Then if you can find a way again, bring Muda to the LCCI because they found against the concession given to Dangote and the other guy. So the way the everything we have is a catastrophe and it's a leadership disaster. Sincerely speaking, if we had a better government, we wouldn't go through all these problems. Finally, the Southwest
finally.
the Southwest governors, they are failures. They are all huge disappointments. They cannot feed us, and every time you come and be talking about, what is the word now? Instruction. If you cannot even feed yourself, you have to depend on other regions before you can feed ourselves. They are all failures. Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for calling. Prince Leo Zoma says, Nigeria's food problems are multifaceted. Government should have allowed local producers to get to a near sufficient point of our local requirements before closing of our borders. Again, farmers are not protected in their farms because of the incessant attacks by bandits and herdsmen. These are the issues and only government can solve them. Afoma says this is the first time she's seen me. Where have you been, Afoma? You should watch us more on Facebook. Namdi Esteka says, I think we have to start farming onions, tomatoes, and other soup ingredients here in the West because I'm getting fed up of what is happening right now. May we not suffer from malnutrition. We've got George Benjamin who says, Sandra, the major reason why the price of foodstuffs soared high is because the bandits are asking for high price money from the farmers and the northern governors are shying away from this. I give my wife 10,000 naira, over 10,000 naira to cook a pot of soup or rice. So I'm not bothered as long as God provides for me. Only God will help us. George Benjamin is in Lekki. Yeah, I saw that headline as well where bandits basically hold the farms hostage and the farmers have to pay hundreds of thousands of naira to be able to use their farmlands. And this is happening in a lot of the places where our food comes from. It's insane. We've got Mbam Daniel who says we can actually use spicy tea for jollof whenever we make it. I don't know what Spice City is, and if that's a brand, you just made me call it brand on air. I will beat you. Kufra James says, we must look far from the north when it comes to food. Time to start looking inwards. We've got more comments here. Olado Kunurudin says, the average cost of preparing jollof rice must be with millionaires in mind. Fact is, the average income of Nigerians is less than 20,000 naira monthly. All right, Olado is talking about the 7,000 naira average price that SBM Intelligence put out. And Oladokun says, this jollof rice is beyond the reach of all Nigerians except the rich. The best people like us do is prepare concussion. But concussion rice makes us die now. I chop concussion rice. I like and well. Michael Babajare says, Sandra, I can see the word of God prevailing right now over heavy suffering in Nigeria. Okay. Well, thank you for seeing the word of God. Olatumbosu Ginwa says, Nigerian factor has confused me on how to prepare real jollof rice. I can hardly differentiate between jollof rice and concussion. Jason Enak says, concussion sure pass, so sends leaf red oil with smoked fish. Because it's difficult at this point to be spending so much for jollof rice. It's not possible. Concussion rice is bae. See, take it from me. Concussion rice is amazing, especially when you use like smoked skumbia. Smoked skumbia like this. Oh God, maybe I'll make that. No, I'm on a diet. I can't. No, Sandra, behave. All right, more comments on Facebook. Douglas Nathan says, my people's things have increased in the market. Before 15,000 cooked jollof rice. Now, before 1.5 cooked jollof rice. Now with 5,000, it is with a bag. On WhatsApp, we have a few thoughts as well. Let's take a look at some of them. Sandra, the money. Oh no, these are messages from earlier today. Oh, actually, they're not messages from right now. But hey, thank you to everybody who has contributed to the show today. You've been amazing. Let's do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll let Nigeria rest and take a look at international stories. So Trump will probably feature because a lot of amazing things are happening in America right now. So tomorrow, 3 o'clock, let's have that conversation. I'm Ezekwesili on Twitter and Instagram. Sandra Ezekwesili on Facebook. Until tomorrow when I am back on your Air Lagos, those were your hard facts. Good night.
It's okay. That is okay. It's okay. Let me explain. No, it's okay. Let me explain. It's okay. She. Off your mic.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info, your mic is always on. Let's talk.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
A place where you can win without limits. A place where you get a 100% bonus to stake. A place where virtual is brought to reality. Even more. A place where you can bet online anytime, even while you're out of data. Register on actionbet.ng. ActionBet. Think bold. Take action. Win big.
Guy, you don't see that new funny video for Twitter? That one with the boy. You mean this one? What of that brother Shaggy news kit? Where they circulate WhatsApp? Oh, this one. What of that